Alright guys, what's up? It's Drac. This is a never before seen in-pool submerge. Oh man, we should get the GoPro and do it underwater. We don't have the GoPro. Never mind, that's staying in the video. This is a terrible review. This was 20 bucks. This was 20 bucks at the local Target, and we figured that we'd review it, and then it fell in the pool. So before the box completely falls apart, we gotta get that review in there. NERF Super Soaker XP100-AP. So this is like the anniversary edition of the classic Lonnie Johnson Super Soaker. Does it have CPS technology? Who knows? Is the box falling apart? Yes. So luckily, the tank is made with recycled plastic, and the box is super recyclable because it is straight up falling apart. So when this blaster was originally released, it was revolutionary in that you could take and thread into it a 2-liter bottle, or a standard Coca-Cola bottle, or realistically any drinking vessel you could use as a reload. That's compatibility that does not lead to profitability. So very quickly they stopped doing that because you can't sell Oozinator cartridges to kids who can just use Coca-Cola bottles. So effectively this is the classic rendition of the original Super Soaker. Just finished up our Spyro video over here. So effectively what this is going to be is some sort of disconnect here, and it looks like it's just a quarter turn now. That's kind of lame. And it appears to be proprietary. No big deal. This comes down like this. We can load this up. I imagine that given that there's like some sort of filter here on the intake of the Super Soaker, that there won't be too terribly much of an issue just using sort of pool water here. After all, if a leaf or anything is stuck in there, it won't be that big of a deal. So classic kind of vintage Super Soaker vibes in a world where every corporation is trying to figure out how best to market nostalgia to its consumers. This is a pretty good way to go about it. So you've got the biggest difference actually is that the NERF logo is on this Super Soaker, given that those brands have been formally merged. And I do want to point out, this is a huge capacity for this blaster. Now, trigger down here is an actual trigger. Is this going to be a real blaster? Are we going to be able to actually pressurize it? All right, major pumping required. It sounds like we've engaged the OPRV, and we're already starting to leak pressure. You love to see it, but that's not bad. That's like a real, that's a real Super Soaker. That's pretty cool. It's definitely got some weak flow going. I saw a commercial recently where apparently they make a pill for that. Okay, so if you pull the trigger forward, you close the valve. If you leave any pressure in the tank without pulling the trigger forward, you're just constantly gonna leak pressure. So they don't make them like they used to, but at least they still make them at all. This is pretty cool. Like an original vintage inspired Super Soaker with a little bit of a modern flair, admittedly also with modern hiccup. Of course, you could just hold this down and use it as though it were any sort of classic Super Soaker. The further up you tilt, the further that intake comes from your water source. You actually want to point down to get maximum capacity. Of course, at any point you can quick disconnect and reload with, unfortunately not a soda bottle in this case. But that's a quick review of the Super Soaker XP100, which is of course the reimagination of the classic, and it's not bad. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Again, this was very affordable. I want to say it was like $17 or $18. It came out to be about $20 with tax. For 20 bucks, this is the best Super Soaker they've put on the shelves in a long, long time. Probably worth, if you're going to make something serious out of it, probably worth opening it up, figuring out what kind of tank it's using for its pressure, going in there, plugging the OPRV, and then tightening up whatever the spring is, returning this trigger. You want more spring power there so that maybe you're not constantly leaking pressure. I mean, I remember triple strike, flash flood, etc. You could never get away with a mechanism that's leaking that much. But other than that, given it's maybe more of a statement of how bad the Super Soaker branding has fallen in recent years, but even a leaky XP100 is probably the best thing on the shelf right now. Of course, if you're looking for something that isn't on the shelf and you have a little bit more than $20 to spend, there's nothing quite like the brand new Spyro 3. So check out both of those. If you haven't already seen my video on it, check that out as well. But that's our take. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Much love, blast on, Drac out. guys.